Now, as if it couldn't get any worse for Disney, they are already dealing with the general public mocking them, and right now, they are dealing with creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone over at Comedy Central and South Park Studios with their exclusive event that's about to air on October 27th for South Park that is actually a direct jab toward Disney mainly, and other Hollywood studios within the Hollywood bubble that supports race swapping and gender swapping in many of their franchises, movies, and television shows out there. And Disney's not liking it one bit. There's a lot of drama happening behind the scenes that actually, as it turns out, has been going on for weeks now. Let's discuss. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, one thing that I do fully support when it comes to the creators of South Park is that they have no problems with mocking either side. Whether you're, all for the woke nonsense or if you're anti-woke, it doesn't matter. Trey Parker and Matt Stone, they find a balance to create parodies and to mock both sides. That's what's great about the show, and whether you love them or hate them or dislike or like the show, that's perfectly fine here, by the way. I'm open to that below in the comments. But one thing about this entire drama that's happening right now with Trey Parker and Matt Stone is that, as it turns out, a large portion of this exclusive event is not just a jab at woke Hollywood in general. In fact, a large portion of it is a direct mockery of Disney when it comes to what they are doing with Snow White, what they have done with The Little Mermaid and Tinkerbell, as well as what they are about to embrace with upcoming live-action reboots, remakes, etc., that's going to embrace that DEI agenda further. So let's step into this further, shall we? Now, specifically, given, of course, that Disney is currently in a delicate position right now with Snow White, the live-action remake, and everything else happening with The Marvels starring Brie Larson set to become a box office failure, one other problem that Disney is now facing is how South Park recently mocked the concept of race-swapping characters in pop culture. As it turns out, behind the scenes, Trey Parker and Matt Stone intentionally and specifically made a jab and mock toward Disney. Disney is already getting involved with Comedy Central and South Park Studios and their parent organization, Paramount Global, in a forward and direct request to not air additional exclusive events or episodes mocking the current state of Hollywood the way it is today with race swapping and gender swapping, as Disney now views this as a full-on threat to their business models. This is a similar situation to when Disney got caught up in endless drama with Comedy Central and South Park Studios when they were mocking Mickey Mouse and destroying the Star Wars franchise, essentially. As of now, Bob Iger and the Disney board are attempting to set up a direct meeting remotely with the heads over at Comedy Central and South Park Studios after Trey Parker and Matt Stone made a mockery of all of them. Now, guys, let me just pause here quick, because there's more to talk about this in just a second that's even more revealing. Now, what I like about Parker and Stone is that they don't care about what people think. They're going to do what they want to do, they're going to see what they can get away with, and they've talked about this on multiple podcasts, multiple radio shows. They've made it openly public that over the years, yes, it has become harder to have the liberty and freedom to express themselves in these episodes of South Park. And this one, I think, is a fine example of them kind of turning that around and really just going all out, full-fledged mocking woke Hollywood, and specifically putting their finger at Disney. Now, they did this before in the past with Mickey Mouse, and by the way, Disney was very unhappy about that. In fact, they were infuriated with Comedy Central and South Park Studios for even embracing that and kind of giving Star Wars a bad image and a bad name and supporting those that disliked the Star Wars films and stuff like that at the time. And obviously, we know that Comedy Central is, well, let's face it, it's comedy. You gotta get comedy. This is the exact problem that comedians are facing today with political correctness and stuff like that. This is a comedy show. They have to realize that. Disney needs to realize that this is nothing more than a parody. It's a direct jab. It's mocking them. It's a comedic bit, so to speak. It's an exclusive event for October 27th, and Disney's not happy about it one bit. And this has been going on, by the way, for weeks, as it turns out. So let's go through this further, shall we? Now, of course, on top of that, Trey Parker and Matt Stone's drama with Disney has actually been happening for weeks now behind closed doors, and it is only rattling throughout Disney as of right now, throughout all of Hollywood behind the scenes, since the teaser dropped just a couple of days ago for the exclusive event to air on October 27th. Disney took action against Comedy Central in the past, which is why fans of South Park have not seen as many bits and mocks of Mickey Mouse as a character in Disney since then. The same goes as follows now with South Park mocking the concept of swapping characters. Disney views this as a motive to hurt their business models with their plans for the endless roster of live-action remakes that will embrace swapping such as Hercules, Sword in the Stone, and even remakes of Beauty and the Beast and Alice in Wonderland, plus more on top of that. And we already know, when we talked about this, there's been quite a number of conversations involving Sword in the Stone, that they want to also swap Merlin in that movie. And this has been an ongoing conversation between the Disney bigwigs and the new creatives that they're trying to actually get involved with Sword in the Stone. They're going to be making future announcements for that movie, by the way, by the first quarter of 2024. So that shall be very interesting to see how far Disney's going to be willing to see what they can get away with. You know, we've seen what's happening with Snow White. We saw what happened with The Little Mermaid. And this is only going to make matters worse. So the fact that Disney's going the extra mile behind the scenes, and they have been doing this for a couple of weeks now, and now it even got worse because since that trailer dropped, that teaser, right, all hell is breaking loose to the point where now Disney is really just getting heavily involved and setting up a direct meeting with Comedy Central, South Park Studios, Paramount Global, and getting Parker and Stone involved too. It's a mess, and it just goes to show you that this may very well be the most controversial episode or exclusive event by South Park in a very long time. Especially since, you know, Disney was very unhappy and offended over what they did with Mickey Mouse. By the way, if you guys have not seen those episodes, I do highly suggest you check them out, and it's very accurate. You know, Disney at this point in time, they are a monopoly that seeks to willingly destroy, you know, source material, established animated classics, and even other franchises out there that are very well loved that are going to get diminished. They have acquired 24th Century, you know, they got Fox now. They took over The Simpsons, they took over the Alien franchise, Predator, and it's not going to stop there. So, anyway, I would really love to hear all of your opinions below in the comments about this ongoing Disney/South Park drama and this exclusive event that I think is just going to make all hell break loose for Disney without a doubt once it debuts. They don't want any more events like this to be aired in the future. That's basically them and what their actions are going against South Park Studios, Comedy Central, etc., etc. So anyway, guys, drop a comment below, fill me in below in the comments what you all have to say about this, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.